Hey everyone, Shawn here with Manly Made Minute, and I am doing a voiceover because I had filmed this whole video and forgot to turn my mic on. So I'm working with a new mic, and hopefully this turns out as good as if I was wearing the mic itself. So anyway, I decided to do a video on one of my card hops, which I haven't done before, and I just figured this card just was going to be popping for me, and it had this pink Christmas theme, and I thought this would be a great one to video. So I am using the Merry Everything set by Gina K, one of my favorite holiday sets ever. This one, and I think Anthony's Papercraft Christmas Foliage, truly one of my favorites. So I've done a little pre-work on the triangle for the tree. I've embossed it on Canson XL watercolor paper. And I was just showing you there that I'm using the re-inkers by Catherine Pooler, Do-Si Do, Pucker Up, and Lime Ricky. Lime Ricky is my favorite green out of that line. So I embossed this because I'm going to do some watercoloring on this piece. And I just kind of wanted this tie-dyed kind of pink-green kind of theme for this. And this set just really came to mind for this hop when it was a pink Christmas. So what I'm doing, I'm using a technique that I've kind of learned through my 30-day watercolor challenge, and that's kind of what drew me to this set to do it this way, is just all this practicing I've been doing. I think I've got 1 day left of my 30-day challenge. And I'm really wetting this paper down. I'm using a mop brush, and I'll link that brush in the description below. I watched a video by Tim Holtz who uses these brushes and really like them. So I did buy myself a set, and I really like them. They're kind of a mop type brush with squirrel hair, so they hold the water pretty good. So anyway, I'm wetting this down, and I'm getting a pool of water on the paper. So it gets really wet, and then that water starts to pool like a little kind of tension bubble on top of the surface. And I'm just setting my inkers down. And what I learned by doing this on my 30-day challenge is that when you do this with the re-inkers, and you'll see when I dab this in, especially with that light pink Do-Si Do, as soon as you touch it, it starts to bloom out over the surface of that water. So it spreads very quickly. And so I wanted to kind of work with this and try to get this to mix. And now when you start mixing the colors, it is literally like oil and water. And you'll see as I add the other two colors, they don't necessarily blend like you would and bloom together like you would a normal ink or normal watercolor. I'm not sure what the formula is of the re-inkers that make it do this. It seems like it kind of doesn't do this when I use like the ink pads and ink smush down on the glass mat. For some reason, the re-inkers by themselves they just bloom on the water, or the surface tension of the water, really weird. But anyway, I did want to use that technique to my advantage on this card. So idea here was to lay that Do-Si Do down, and I'm going to go in with that Pucker Up, and you'll see how once those colors start to hit each other, they don't mix. It's almost like they push each other away and almost get that tie-dye kind of look to them. And that's kind of what I was going for. That's why I chose this technique. But you'll see me do this. You know, the more you do it, the more it gets a little mucky muck. So it's almost like you have to just resist the urge to do too much and keep going. So I started washing that together because it was just getting a little too mucky muck. And now I'm going to try to add that darker back in there because it was just not blending the way I wanted it to blend. And you can see because the paper was starting to pucker a little bit, I should have taped this down because now it's starting to pool up there towards the tip of the tree, and I'm trying to dab it out. So I should have really truly taped this down to keep this as flat as possible. So then I decided to dry this back. I got enough pink on there, but I didn't get enough of that tie-dye effect. So I'm drying this back so that I can layer this up again. And I was thinking I might have enough on here, but after I dry this, you'll see me dry this to a point. Then I'm going to add more of that color on top. and then add those little dabs of green. I wanted just a tiny bit of green because pink and green just goes really well together. And plus it was a tree, so I just wanted to get a little bit of green in my theme. But as I'm drying this back, I'm trying to reflatten this out. So I'm doing front and back here just to try to flatten that down. And then I'm going to go through and add some more color. So, and then you'll kind of see me re-wet, and then it'll pool again on me just slightly, but that's okay. I kind of work with it. So I'm going to re-get some more ink down here, and I'm wanting to get this darker. It's like any watercolor, it dried back a little lighter than I wanted. So I'm re-wetting. Again, it's water reactive, so as you re-wetted it, it will kind of blend out just a little bit. So I'm trying not to brush too much because I know it's going to reactivate this ink. I'm just wanting to get enough water down as quick as I can so I can dab some more of that pucker up and a little bit of that green in there. Then I try to do that one corner kind of dried back a little bit kind of funky, so I tried to blend that out. But now you'll see me dab that pucker up in there and keep it, essentially keep it more intense, but it's pooling on me again. So yeah, you just gotta, it's like, you know, when you use distress, you gotta kind of work in layers and set it back and dry it. So that water is moving around too much on me and it's getting muddy. So I'm really kind of fussing with this just a little bit, and then I think I end up drying this back again, just to get some of that water off and dry. I'm just really wanting that intense color on this. So again, this took me a couple tries. It doesn't seem like it was that tough when I was doing this with a floral. But again, I didn't have that much space as I do in this triangle to work with. So I think I probably should have just really slowed down a little bit, took my time, and almost work in sections. I guess that'd be kind of hard on this piece. But all right, here I am. Hopefully last time here to just intensify this a little bit more and get this set where I want it. So. But yeah, I chose this set. It's one of my favorites. The leaves and things on this, now you can see that color is really starting to pop. I didn't get as much water down on this last time here. But yeah, this set is just so universal. I liked it because I wanted to do this triangle, and I know Lisa Hetrick has done some watercolors with this set when it first was released last year. So that's when I was like, oh, okay, I gotta try something like a Lisa Hetrick kind of something. So that's kind of what I was aiming for. I just really like the stuff that she does. So I was kind of aiming for how she launched this, and she did some watercolors, I think, when she launched this last year. And so this just came to mind when this whole pink theme and stuff, because I know she does a lot of her pink and pink and greens and things when she does stuff. So yeah, I dried that now and set that back. And look at the difference on this. Big difference. You can see that bubbling of the water. So I'm going to ink splatter this just a little bit. I just could not resist the chance to do some more ink splatter. So I'm using that little set I'll link below. This one I found on Amazon. It's just a great little watercolor set. It's all shimmer. I love the two golds in this. They're really intense. So I picked the gold on this. There is gold in that Mei Ling pan set I grabbed there earlier. But it's just a little softer, and I wanted that really intense gold on this because I did emboss that triangle in gold. I used the Ranger gold super fine embossing powder. But I am going to use the pink shimmer out of that Mei Ling because I'm doing some pink and gold shimmer kind of ink splatter on this just to kind of soften that white background, bring some more pinks in, and then I'm going to kind of fill that white space with some of the stars from this set, just because I was trying to build up. I wanted a lot of elements on this, and I don't know why. No particular reason. I think probably just because I like this set so much. But yeah, I just wanted to add these elements and use everything on the sheet. So I kind of got a little water overflow from the embossing, so you can see me dab on some pink over the top of my little ink splatters that I got overflow just to blend them, and you couldn't even tell once I was done. It's like it just looked like ink splatter, but I specifically dabbed a couple there on the corners All right, now I took the leaves from this set and I took every leaf element that was not part of that big tree element. And you'll see when I show you here, I took the single ones, not anything from that big triangle piece. And I'm going to do 2 in green and 2 in pink. So I'm using the Lime Ricky and the Pucker Up, same inks as my re-inkers that I used for the watercolor. And then I'm going to die cut these out to lay inside that tree. I wanted some dimension on this, so I popped them up as on dimensionals as well. And I ended up inking these a couple times just because I wanted it pretty intense. I didn't want, you ink it once and it was okay. I got good coverage, but I really wanted good coverage and I wanted it pretty intense and bright so that it would pop off of that tree. So you'll see me stamp these a couple times. That first impression was actually pretty good, but I wanted it, again, intense for just that contrast when I put it on that tree. I did debate. I'm like, should I just do all pink and stick with the pink theme? But then because I pulled the Lime Ricky into the watercolor portion, I was like, well, I'll just tie it all together. I'll throw a couple green on there and keep it primarily pink. But so I did kind of divvy it up and do half pink, half green. But once I die cut these, and laid them out, I realized I didn't like the way it alternated. I had some space, and then because the way that the leaves were swooping from like side to side, because they kind of swoop and angled down, so like I set them on a certain side of the tree, and it just wasn't balanced. So I did, after I die cut these, I did go back through. Now you'll see I have some extra ones on there. I did go back through and did another set. Just because I wanted those 2 leaves there on the bottom, because of the, you can see I was trying to explain just like the swooping different ways and alternating pink and green, so it was just a little bit more balanced. So I did add some. Now I'm going to take, you can see on the block there, I have the star. There's 2 stars in this set, and I took the 1 star and kind of just alternated with some green and pink, and I'm just kind of moving those out, trying to keep them in the order that I had them. Not that I probably couldn't figure it out, but now I'm just going to, the idea here was I wanted to stamp those stars on the background of this tree to look kind of like a random pattern of a designer series paper. So I did it in pink and green, and then I took the other one. So this is kind of the full star that I started with. Then I took the other one and just dabbled a couple in between there. And so here I am. I'm getting out my brand new Simon Says stamp sticky mat. This is the 8x8, I believe, is the one I purchased. I ended up getting 2. I loved it so much. It's really sticky and it holds. I didn't take the backing off of it and stick it to my glass mat just because all I really needed it to do was hold the card in place. I didn't care if the mat was going to move a little bit, but I have taken the back off, stuck it to my glass mat, and used it both ways, just depending on what I'm doing. Like today I did another video with I cut some stuff out for a client actually, and little pieces that had an ink blend, so I took it to the mat, stuck to the glass mat, so that as I was ink blending on that sticky mat, it wouldn't move around on me. So yeah, anyway, brand new sticky mats, absolutely love them. I do have a sticky mat, wallflower sticky mat in my Misty, but I wanted to try these because I've seen a lot of people using them and they got great reviews, so I had to go purchase some on Black Friday sale. I stocked up on a whole bunch of stuff for Black Friday, which honestly I can't wait to start playing and doing some more videos and Instagram posts with all my new stuff. I've got a huge stash here sitting out of my new stuff to start playing with and making some new videos. I'm just trying to get through all this Christmas, and then I'll start playing here after Christmas, and lots more to come on that. So then I'm just kind of throwing in like 2 random greens to kind of bring that green through. And then I go through and switch to the other star. The other star is just more, if you can see the pink ones, how they stick out, it's just that piece of that big star. It's not, because that big star has like the outline and then the solid. And then the other one just has like the little peaks. You can see I'm just trying to show you. It has the 4 little peaks there. So I throw just a couple in on that just to kind of random up the pattern just a little bit. And I'm just trying to do this so I'm not overlaying that tree and keep it as random looking around that tree as I possibly could. So yeah. Anyway, can't wait to start playing with my new stuff. I've put a whole bunch of stuff out for Anthony's Papercraft. I'm on the design team for that. He's closing up shop, so I'm just trying to do a last little push for him the last month that he's here in business, and clean out his shop for him as he goes on to his new adventures. And this one, hopefully, this is the Pink Christmas Hop. Hopefully one of my last Christmas cards. I got a couple more to post that I've pre-recorded, but I am ready to move on from Christmas. I don't know about you guys, but I'm ready to like get out my new stamps. I'm ready to start doing some florals. I've been doing this 30-day watercolor challenge, and now I just can't wait to start playing with some bigger florals and see what I can turn those into. So yeah, I've got a ton of ideas for content to come after the new year. And I'm coming up on my 1 year YouTube anniversary. I cannot believe it. So I think it's December 18th or 23rd maybe, because I think I started right before Christmas last year. And I'm gonna have to do like a big live or something for my 1 year anniversary and do something fun and big, or maybe a couple of different cards, or pull my favorite products or biggest things I've learned. I've got these ideas, and I want to do something for my 1 year just as a kind of as a fun celebration. I didn't think I'd make it a year. Didn't think I'd still be doing this a year, and I just started getting some followers, and honestly, I'm just having fun with it. So. Biggest thing for me is I'm just going to do what I'm going to do and have fun. So I decided to throw on, I better get back to the card. I decided to throw a sentiment on here, and I took one of the sentiments from this stamp set and set it on the underneath that triangle, just to act as the tree stump essentially, because I know I've seen that done on some of the videos of Gina Kay or Lisa Hetrick or somebody when they have done this stamp set. So I threw that sentiment underneath the tree trunk. And then originally at the beginning of this video, I had pink and gray pre-cut because I thought that gray would act as a nice softer background to the pink and gray, and then put the pink on top and sandwich it between. But I just felt that gray it just didn't fit with anything else I had on my card. So I went to my apple green. I believe this is from Cardstock Warehouse, I believe, is where I got this. Candy green or apple green. Because I threw that little bit of green into my card front, I thought this would just tie better. And honestly, I cut these card bases so there was just very little border. I just wanted it to peek out a little bit and not over, I didn't want too big of a border. So I just thought, well, I'm going to throw green on there just to have a little extra peak of green, because that gray it didn't fit this whole theme at all. I think it would have fit if I didn't want to do the pink paper. I could have probably just did gray, but I still wanted the pink paper underneath there as well. So, all right, now I've layered this up, and essentially next step is just to take all of those leaves. I set them up on dimensionals, and then I lay them on my card. This is my heavy weight. It is actually a piece of limestone from my pool that we had built this summer, and I grabbed a couple pieces out there from the builders because it was perfect for a card weight. I put this on there because once I glued those together, that card front was still a little warpy from all the watercolor. I tried to dry it as flat as I could, but once I had it glued, I kind of sandwiched it down, because honestly, this thing is heavy enough that it just flattens things out so good that it just gets a really nice flat card as it dries. So, and sometimes I'll leave things underneath there overnight just to let the whole thing dry, but at least till that glue sticks and starts to bond, and then I just pull it off. But anyway, I am throwing all of these leaves now up on dimensionals. Gonna throw these down, alternating, swooshing either way, to kind of finish off my my card. And I'm using, some of these leaves are kind of small, so I've got these little tiny round dimensionals. that I throw on there. So yeah. Anyway, I'm not sure about you guys, but I'm sure there's many of you feeling the same, that Christmas is kind of over with and let's move on. I've got some, I should probably start some Valentine's stuff at the same time, but you know how it is. You got all these ideas and all this new stuff I want to try, and it sits there in my new bucket. So yeah, these dimensionals just get slightly tedious. And I cannot believe I did. So this is the first video I did. Then I just went right into doing another video yesterday, and didn't even think that I didn't have my mic on. I had the camera on. I had both cameras on. I just thought my other camera's mic would pick up. I just didn't think to put my mic on. And 2 whole videos I talked through, and I went to edit them, and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. Like literally 2 hours of talking for nothing. So yeah, I'm going to have to, I think the next one I'm not going to voice over. I think I'm going to edit it down just to like a short and splice it together and call it a day. But yeah, super bummed. I thought everything had just come together so good until I went to edit it. And yeah, it happens, right? I'm sure it's happened to the best of us, but I was just kind of rushed to get things done. I was trying to like get logged in and like get, it's just I had this day planned of doing all this stuff, and I should just slow down, prep like I always prep, get everything ready and plugged in, but yeah, no, it was just in a little bit of a hurry. So yeah, here I am. You can see I started to do the leaves, and then I was like, I need the sentiment. I better stamp the sentiment here first. So I decided to go with the hope, just because of the space that I had at the bottom there. The other ones were just a little bit too big to fit underneath there. So the hope, I didn't really care what sentiment it was, to be honest. I mean, the Merry Christmas one has a nice script on it that I've used actually quite a bit on other cards. But I just thought hope was just perfect. And I figured it was kind of fitting with this whole pink theme. It could fit with, this could fit in with like pink Christmas, pink breast cancer Christmas. So I just thought, that pink was fitting. So I threw that on there very quick. So, all right, now we just got to throw these leaves up on here, and we got ourselves a card. So this is for my hop. I do a card hop every Wednesday, and I think it's going to every other Wednesday after the first of the year, because the person that leads it has got a huge announcement coming, and I think she's going to be on a design team, or she's going to be busy, which is fine. I think the rest of the group has completely agreed that every other Wednesday is perfect. It gets to be a lot. I don't know how some of these do these card hops and do so many of them every week. But if you haven't done a card hop and you're newer to card making, I highly encourage you to do a card hop. I saw card hops. I started hopping through them, wondering what's a card hop. I didn't get it. So I put the question out there. 2 people had reached out to me and explained it really well. And they run the 2 card hops that I'm on. And I tell you, first off, the group of people in these card hops are so amazing, so supportive, and creative, so welcoming. I feel like I'm a newer card maker, but I'm probably not anymore. But it has stretched my creativity like you would not believe. And that you get the theme, and it's your interpretation of the theme. So this is Pink Christmas. I could interpret this however I wanted. If I just wanted to do a pink sky with green Christmas trees, that's what I could do. And there's no judgment whatsoever. And I'll tell you, I've come up with some great cards. I've seen some amazing interpretations and cards, and then it gives you ideas, right? I try to hop through every single person every single week, leave a comment, because it's just, we're all supportive, right? But man, there's just been some really creative ones, and I feel like this has just pushed my envelope to no beyond. Like this one, like Pink Christmas, and here I am making a watercolor Christmas tree. It's just, it makes you think of stuff that you probably wouldn't necessarily think of. And do I Pinterest? Absolutely. I go on Pinterest, I try to find some ideas, and then I try not to mimic it, right? Because that's somebody else's idea. But it gives me ideas to interpret that to what I want for my hop, and that's what I do. So anyway, there you go. There's my pink Christmas, watercolor Christmas tree, layered up with some leaves, and yeah, I am just so happy the way this turned out. I'm so pleased. So check me out on Instagram, Manly Made Minute. Hop through this hop and follow everybody. And thank you all so very much.